Happy Monday, guys. How is it going? It's a beautiful day to be alive. You're probably seeing this Tuesday since I'm recording so late. This is going to be a bit of a shorter video since I'm really tired, have had a long day, and am trying to get to bed. But I still wanted to hop on the camera and film this video for you guys. A topic of today's video is going to be creativity and passion. So, just this weekend on Sunday, it was super late at night. Wasn't doing too much, was just kind of being lazy, as you should on a weekend, take your time to rest up. Um, and I came upon this idea, to work in this program that I've been working on a little bit intermittently for the past week or two. It's called Adobe InDesign. And basically what it is you could add text, add pictures to a document and, combine them to create stuff like an ad or a web page or a brochure, whatever it may be. So I've been kind of tinkering with like graphic design and how to add copy or the words, in a document. That's what copy is. And combining, graphic design and copy to create stuff like ads. So I'm really interested in Nike ads, athletic ads, sports ads, and that's where I really want to go in my career in the future. So I had this beautiful idea, right? I'm gonna Google up best Nike ads. Um, so I found one that was really cool. It was from around 1990s or so. It had a nice little shoe. I believe it was the Nike Blazer, if I'm getting that right. And I saw it as an awesome design. I was like, I'm going to go on Adobe InDesign and I'm going to create this really cool ad. I'm going to, kind of steal some of the concepts from the Nike ad and make it my own. So I went on Google after finding that image, and I found a free photo, a stock photo of this pair of Jordan shoes. I threw it in InDesign and I was checking out the Nike ad that I found and comparing and figuring out how I could put my own little twist on the ad. And what I came up with was this fake shoe called the Air Iverson 1999. Made a really cool ad based on that Nike ad, kind of used similar fonts, same type of layout, but I made my own copy. I made my own copy for it based on Allen Iverson. I'm trying to sell this shoe. The whole theme of it was that, Allen Iverson kind of revolutionized the game of basketball and made it more of a culture thing. He had a little bit of flair, panache, creativity, and style to the game of basketball and the NBA specifically. So I drew on that to kind of attract the type of people like me, the young folks that really want to leverage their creativity, their uniqueness, and that status of being an innovator to drive sales of the shoe. To really reach the audience that I was going for, my age group around 18 to 24, so, and get them to buy this Air Iverson 1999. So it was a really fun experience, something that I'm really happy I did, and that I could add to my portfolio now. But the whole point of me sharing this story to you is, I've been thinking about this concept of when I first started to really increase my productivity and start to figure out my passion in life, my goal in life. And it's this idea of consuming versus creating. And nowadays, it's, the internet age, it's the easiest time in the world and the history of the world to just be caught up with all the things, all these things on the internet, like social media, videos, apps, dating websites, dating apps, whatever it is. And all these things take your attention away, and it it's really good at, getting in your brain and feeding you dopamine to make you want to click. I'm not a scientist, but the basic principle is that it triggers these chemicals in your brain that makes you want to watch them. And then once you watch them, you get this dopamine high, which means you want to keep on watching it and keep on getting that effect. So essentially, you don't have to do anything to feel like you've accomplished something, which is generally in the past how people would get dopamine, whether they're exercising, they're creating something, they're reading a book, whatever it is. Nowadays, it's so easily accessible to watch a quick 5-second video and get that same dopamine rush. And, it tricks your brain into thinking you've accomplished something when really you haven't. So I just want to say, if you ever feel like you're in a rut and you ever feel like, you're not really passionate about anything in life and you want to figure out what you're passionate about, I'd say stop consuming as much, stop watching what other people are doing and what they're creating, and start creating yourself. I could have just looked up Nike ads all night and read them. And it would have been awesome. I would have learned a lot, but I wouldn't have learned as much as I did as actually creating the whole ad myself and figuring out what goes into it. And even further than that, learning, what I'm passionate about within that project. So a lot of these things that I used to love, but I haven't been, using or doing recently, like formatting words, choosing typography to fit the scope of the project, matching graphics to words, and just organizing the layout of a document, and the elements of graphic design, figuring out which image to use. It's all these things that I just love to do, creating, by doing this ad, creating this ad, I was able to learn so much about what I love. And I think really, if you're lost in life and you want to figure out what you're passionate about, just start doing things that appeal to you. Instead of, watching another 2-hour movie that you've probably already seen before on Netflix, maybe use that, maybe even just, for 30 minutes or an hour, paint something or draw something or create an ad or write a poem. There's so many things that you could do that'll help you discover, what you like. So maybe when you're writing the poem, you don't like, the actual act of creating the story behind the poem, but you just like using awesome words. Or you do art and you don't necessarily like the actual act of the thing, but you like creating that story and that vivid landscape behind it, right? Which you could apply to creating a story. So there's just so many things that you could do instead of consuming. You could create, and which I think, will ultimately then allow you to find your passion in life, and allow you to, live a life that is full of, happiness and creativity and passion. So there's my little Monday wisdom, if you would. Now I'm super tired. I lifted today. I exercised some creativity, did a little bit of work. So I'm going to reward myself by going to bed and resting up. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode on Monday. I hope my ramblings could gave you a little bit of insight, and hopefully inspired you to create more and do what you're passionate about. So thank you guys once again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Until then, do more, think less, and get a little bit better each day. I'll see you guys next Monday.